Married at First Sight, Australia. Episode 21. So we're on to our fourth commitment ceremony of the series. I'm just going to go straight in. First people on the couch were Georgia and Liam. Now these two have been getting on very well, to be honest. But as they said on the couch, they had their first argument. It was about the photo ratings of the girls, where she was placed second or joint first. I can't remember, but you know where I'm going with this. She wasn't happy with his explanation. I understood the explanation. He said Kerry was down to earth. Very natural. Didn't wear a lot of makeup. Something along those lines, he said. And as I said in yesterday's commentary, I did mention about the earring thing. That's what I mentioned will be a problem. If you saw his face when she's trying on clothes and so forth, that's going to be a problem. And as we heard on the couch just now, exactly what he said. He has no time for it. He doesn't have the patience. He's one of those people, 5 minutes, he's out the door. She probably takes 3 hours to get ready, which is absolutely mind-boggling for him. So they were the two main issues for these guys. Besides that, as he said, 95% of the time, he loves everything about her. Yeah, but the 5% can start to grate on you eventually. Those little niggly things eventually do start to grate on you. Even though they're getting on well, they got on very well. I still have my little doubts, but we'll see as we progress further along in this series. In conclusion, they both said stay. Next on the couch were Johnny and Kerry. I like these two. They've got great energy. Johnny's always upbeat. Plus he's got a sensitive side on top of it. I like it. And I like Kerry. She's always very bubbly. And the two of them gel very well. When they were asked about how the intimacy was going, I love Johnny's reaction. It makes me laugh. He's so funny. And then poor Kerry is like, do we really need to talk about this? Yeah, she's got that reaction. At the same time, she gels with his humour. So it works. It just seems to work. Yeah, so them two have popped the cherry, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. Yeah, I don't need to go into detail. Things are looking up there. I really have nothing more to say on this couple. They seem to be going in the right direction. So in conclusion, they both said stay. Moving on, next we had Booker and Brett. Again, we were hashing over old ground about this letter. Nothing new there. I'm not going to go into it. But looking at these two, as Brett says, I think Booker likes me, but she's struggling with her feelings. And when Booker was asked a question, how she felt about Brett, she just couldn't get past the negative stuff. This is going to be a problem. If this is the way you think continuously, like Brett said as well, she dwells on the negative rather than looking at the positives, we're going to have a problem. We are going to have a problem. She actually struggled to answer that question. She got tearful. As Mr. John the matchmaker said, you need to come out of that tunnel vision that you have. And she does. When it came to Brett being asked the same question, what does he feel about Booker? Brett never has any problems listing all the good qualities about Booker. Never has a problem. It just flows out of him. But when it comes to Booker, having to answer the same question, it's a huge problem. That is a big worry for me. Are these two going to make it? They may make up, but in the long run, are they going to make it? In conclusion, Booker actually put leave. Yes, she put leave. Because she doesn't like feeling like this. That's what she said. That's what she said. Her thoughts are too negative for me. They are too negative. She can't see the woods from the trees. When it came to Brett, he put stay. Because as far as he's concerned, we're not done yet. He sees potential. And he's not ready to quit. So as I said, Booker put leave. Brett put stay. So they're going to have to stay. The next couple on the couch were Beck and Jake. I've noticed I've been calling her Beck in the past few episodes. She hasn't been upsetting me too much. But Miss Sourpuss may come back. So watch out. Anyway, with these two, we know they've had their ups and downs. And I can't get away from that. These two consistently have ups and downs. And I'm not blaming Jake for it. It's all to do with her. Yes, her. They were arguing before going to the cinema. Then at the cinema, more arguments with the family. Beck's mum, oh God, no, can't stand her. She's just like Beck, can't stand her. Oh dear. Then they got back on a even keel with the task that Bryce and Melissa had set in regards to changing roles. So it was Jake that dressed up like Beck and tried to mimic her, and vice versa. That seemed to get them back on an even keel, laughing and joking, making fun of each other. We also heard them say that they made out. I'm thinking, no, that's what, second base maybe? They didn't go all the way. I can't see it. No, she's not attracted to him in that way. She's not. She ain't fooling me with that fake smile. I'm not fooled one bit in the slightest. He may be into her, she's not into him. But like I said, all of this to me is short-lived. Something about her is too fake for me. I can't put my finger on it. Her laugh is fake. The way she behaves is fake. The way she shows affection to Jake is fake. I know he likes her, but I don't know why. I know he's trying to make an effort. But at the same time, I don't think it's being reciprocated. So I can't get my head past these two. It's not going to work in the long run. I can tell you that now. In conclusion, they both put to stay. Moving on. Next we had Alana and Jason. As the matchmakers did notice, these two were sitting much closer to each other this time round than they were last week. So things have improved with their relationship somewhere. The question was asked how the week has gone. Jason didn't hesitate to say how the week had gone. He was talking about her making the steak in her red lingerie. As I said, anything sexual, he has no problem with. But when it comes to feelings, he struggles. But did you notice when everybody else was laughing about the red lingerie and that evening, did you see Alana's face? She smiled, but it was a strained smile. It was a very strained smile. Behind all of that, she was thinking, is this what we're about? Just about the sex? Is that all that holds us together? I want to talk about emotions. That's what I really want to talk about. I want to talk about emotions. But Jason's not giving me that. That's where her head was at. I'm telling you now. Did you notice how Alana got emotional when they were talking about Jason had put their wedding song on that same night. It's all about emotional connection for her. She needs that. Not too sure where that came out of the blue, to be honest, for Jason to put the wedding song on. Because he got emotional as well, it seemed like, halfway through the song. But that's what she's missing. It's the emotional connection. Again, when Jason was asked how he felt about Alana this week, he still stuttered. He was still stuttering. Ugh. I can't with this guy. I can't. I look at him, I keep seeing Josh. Married at First Sight UK. I keep seeing Josh. Eventually he did answer by saying he struggled to see the future without her in it. At the moment. Yes? At the moment. That's what he said. Let's see how long this lasts. I'm not living on hope. I'm really not. But anyway, in conclusion, they both said stay. Moving on. Our next couple on the sofa were Belinda and Patrick. I really like these two. I like how Belinda has blossomed through this process. It's really done her the world of good. They were talking about the intimacy that they're now experiencing after doing that task of the Titanic task, the art drawing, and how they've progressed to do touchy-feely type things. Not quite going the distance, but they're getting there. They're getting there. Yeah, and I loved how Belinda was so giggly on the sofa. She behaved like a teenager. It's like, oh God, I've seen his little bits. I've seen his bum. I've seen his dangly bits. It's like, oh, it's funny. A 29-year-old, 29. And she comes across like a teenager. It's too funny to watch. But I do like her. And Patrick was saying, so what have we been doing then? Tell him. In regards to the intimate bits. He was trying to embarrass her. It was funny seeing him embarrass her, but yeah. I don't know what more to say with these two. They're moving in the right direction. Let's just put it that way. So I'm sure we're going to see more from Belinda as the days or weeks progress. So in conclusion, they both said stay. The next couple on the sofa, our last couple, is Bryce and Melissa. I'm going to try and keep this short because I'm not going to go around in circles with these two. It started with, I think it was John asking how the week had gone. It was Melissa saying about how her family saw her through the commitment ceremonies that they had viewed. And they saw her as very sad, not herself. And as far as they're concerned, she didn't look happy. Dear. And they seem to blame Bryce because of all the dramas, the confrontations at the dinner party, etc, etc, etc. But she's trying to say that it has nothing to do with that. Yeah, exactly. It's got nothing to do with that. She said her personality has been altered being here, being in the middle of all the drama. And Bryce said the person to blame for that is Beck. As far as he's concerned, Beck is a bully. My wife doesn't want to be around Beck. As he said, his wife was in tears last night because of Beck. She causes her too much stress. That's virtually what he said. Beck is a bully. It was at this point that Bryce and Beck went at each other again. I'm just not going to even go there. So coming away from those two, the question was put to Melissa what she was holding back on. And she's talking about not being herself, not being her authentic self. And that she's feeling she's falling in love with Bryce. That's virtually what she said. She hasn't been open enough to say that because she feels she's 2 steps ahead of him and she's afraid of, if he's not feeling the same, it not being reciprocated. Yeah. That's where she's at. She's falling in love. Oh, I worry. I really do. She says that Bryce struggles with his feelings. That's what she said. And on top of that, she's afraid of rejection. Oh, this is painful to watch. Painful to watch. When Bryce was asked how he felt about her falling in love with him, he said it's a nice feeling, but I'm not quite there yet. That's virtually what he said. I'm not there yet. Melissa's face said it all. She can never hide behind her expressions. Her face says it all. She looked disappointed. As she said to the matchmakers, it's a little concerning. She's worried about if he doesn't click, if things don't go according to plan. Is she going to be another one of his relationships? That's what she said. Yep, she's worried. Living on hope, but worried. And his answer to that was he doesn't want to say it and not mean it. Yep, that's exactly what he said. He doesn't want to say it and not mean it. And I have to agree with him on that one. Don't say it if you don't mean it. Moving on from that, they were then asked what their decisions were. Starting with Melissa. She said, after all I've just said, I don't think this will be any surprise. I've put stay. Yep, that's exactly what she said, stay. It's no surprise, we all know that. Then it came to Bryce's turn. Not too sure what was going on there, but from the time he started fidgeting, I knew something was up. I knew something was up. I'm looking at his body language like I always do. Plus he started waffling. Getting straight to the point, he turned around and put leave. And then crossed it out and then put stay. Yes, you heard me. He put leave, crossed it out, and then put stay. Everybody was shocked. Even the matchmakers. When it come to John asking Melissa how she felt, the girl was stumbling. She just couldn't utter any words. It was like, don't know what to say. Didn't know what to say. That went on for about a good minute. That was the longest minute of her life. Didn't have any words. Absolutely shocked she was. You couldn't help but feel sorry for her. You just couldn't. You know what this reminds me of? All of a sudden, what comes in my head? If you know the horror film Kerry from back in the 70s or 80s, where she was humiliated in front of all her schoolmates or college peers on stage with blood poured over her head. That's what comes into my head when I look at Melissa. Standing there, goggle-eyed, don't know what to do with herself, absolutely dumbfounded, like a deer in headlights. She did not see this coming. Absolutely blindsided she was. And wasn't she talking about this last week, about being blindsided? Oh, there you go. She was blindsided. After a whole minute of pure silence, it was Bryce that had to say something. He turned around and said the reason he wrote leave was to get Melissa out of a toxic environment. Yes, that's the excuse he gave. He had her best interest at heart. That's what he said. And then it was Patrick that turned around and said, that makes no sense. Because you knew in your head that she was going to say stay. So why would you write leave? Because you know you're going to have to stay. Bryce didn't want to answer the question. Bryce did not want to answer that question. He told Paddy to keep out of it. And that the best thing about this experiment is that he doesn't have to explain anything to him. That's what he said. The cheeky bugger. That's what he said. Eventually, Melissa did find her voice, and she turned around and said, "You should have written stay. You should have told me. We could have talked about it." That's what she said. It was at that point that John gave them a few words of advice, and then he sent them back to the wolves. I said wolves. Yes, I did. The wolves. And that's where it ended. So this is where I'm going to leave it. If you like what you heard, please like, comment and subscribe. Till next time.